Okay, so I just thought I'd make this quick little instructional video about how I clean trout. Um, there are obviously other ways to do it. That's why I said how to clean trout, because there's other ways to do it. This is just how I do it. Um, this is a rainbow trout from Lake Leland. It's a nice little fish. It's about, let's see, he's about 15 inches. 14 3/4. Pretty nice little fish, as long as my knife. So, what you do with these trout, the trick to them is you want to cut the head off without cutting the guts inside, so that when you pull the head off, most of the guts come with it. Now there'll still be some inside, but you get most of them with it. Okay, most of the guts will come out with the head if you don't cut them. Okay. So, but first thing you do is you just want to slip your knife in there and run it, and you just want to barely have your knife go in there. You don't want to jab it way in, because you'll cut up the meat inside, you'll cut up the guts, you'll rip the intestines up, you'll do all kinds of stuff you don't want to. So you just want to just barely put your knife in there, just enough to cut it, open the fish up, right through those fins, right down the middle there. Just unzip him. And then after you've done that, you want to take your knife. Again, you want to have your knife go in as little as you can to cut it, because you don't want to cut the guts, you don't want to cut up the meat inside. So you put it in, go through the spine. You got to have a good knife to do that. And then just go through that little flap of flesh right there. And then again on the other side, down following his gills, up tight to his head so that you don't waste any meat. Just right there by those fins. And then there's heads off, and you can see all the guts come out. And take and cut this right there. There it is. There's all his guts in his head. That's step one. Well, part one, really. Now all it is prettying up the fish and making it presentable so it's ready to cook. So what you do now is you take and you run your knife. You'll see this here, this vein up in there. This big, thick, dark vein of blood, right? And so what you want to do to get that out, you just run your knife along the edge of it there. Don't cut the meat, just sort of separate the vein from the meat of the fish. Just along up there. And then there's all this membrane in there, okay? Along around the ribs. And you want to scrape that down into the middle. Take this out the rest of the way, trim that up there, get any chunks you don't want to eat out. Anyway, after you've separated the vein there and you've got all your stuff in the middle, you just want to take your finger and just push it out. And all that vein will just squeeze right out of there. And then, next thing you want to do, next thing that I do, you can. There's still some of the vein left in here and some of the membrane and whatnot, but you can just rinse that out. That's we got most of the stuff out now. Now the next thing you want to do is cut these fins off here, and you can feel you went right through some cartilage there when you slice. You go right through some cartilage, and you want to take your knife and just enough to get the cartilage out with the fin. Just like that. And so you don't mar up your whole side of your fish and lose a bunch of meat. Some guys go way out of their way just to get rid of the fins, and that wastes a lot of meat. So you don't want to try and avoid that. You know, take off as little as you can. And there they are. Toss that aside. And now for the anal fin, some people will go in there and take all the bones out. I don't really do that. I just cut it off like that. Just like that. And then same with the dorsal. Just along the top of his spine. And there's that. The adipose fin, I don't really mess with that. I mean, you can take it off if you want. You just fillet it off, you know. But I don't really mess with that. And then the last thing I do is cut the tail off. And you want to cut the tail off just before, as it gets narrow there. And then you want to cut it off just before it gets wide again, so you can save as much meat as you can. And there it is. Now all you got to do is rinse it, and you're good to go. And after you rinse it, here is a fish I already did. It'll look all pretty, and you can see there's not really anything left of the vein. I might want to scrape a bit more of this out. And my fins are all trimmed off. And there it is. That's how you clean a rainbow trout. Hope you guys liked this video and found it helpful. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.